Chapter 1. There is no right decision, no wrong one either. There is only the one you made. Martha is flying through the Simeon corridor at full speed, and I'm doing everything I can just not to fall behind her. The air here is a thick, unnatural pressure that smells like ozone, static, and that signature scent of the Simeon's dry, ancient library paper. Everything happened too fast to process for a normal human being. The ball, the dance, Sasha appearing out of nowhere like some glitch with perfect timing, and then the decision. Yes, I made it, and with it I accepted something that already feels irreversible, like a key turned in a lock you can unturn. I stay with Martha, and she stays in my life, no matter how many problems it will cost me later. Less than an hour ago I chose her, and almost immediately after that we're sprinting through the strange corridor with thousands of doors leading to different places and worlds. Like reality itself keeps emergency exits in bulk. I don't know how much longer we ran, but at one point Martha suddenly stopped in front of one of the doors. She hesitates for a second, then opens it and steps into the doorway without blinking, dragging me with her. Dead twigs are stabbing into my back the second I hit the ground, and a couple of tiny bugs immediately start exploring the new object that has crashed into their field of view. I let out a strained breath and push myself up off my planned bed, brushing dry grass off my clothes. Around me stretches an almost endless summer field, and it hits me in the head at once with a heavy, intoxicating smell of wild herbs and heat. Hold on. Summer? A day ago it was spring, or am I losing my mind already? Martha? I say, still blinking like I'm trying to wipe the corridor off my eyes. Where are we? Where they won't find us, she answers. At least for now. Why is it summer? One of the downsides of traveling through the Simeon corridor, she says, like she's talking about an annoying feature on a phone. Time can distort, stretch, so in your world, on Earth, almost a year and a half has passed, even though for you it feels like 2 days. Don't worry, it doesn't affect you. At least it won't harm you, that's for sure. I just stare at her, because my brain is doing that slow motion crash you feel right before the panic. A year and a half. 540 days of silence. My parents, they haven't been waiting for a phone call. They've probably finished the cycle of grief and started staring at my empty chair until the silence broke them. What about my parents? Her expression twitches barely. Well, that might be the one downside. For them, you've been missing for about a year and a half. The field stays bright and warm like you didn't hear her, like the world is being cruel on purpose. That's horrible. Silence is hanging between us for a moment. Martha looks away first, and when she speaks again, her voice is sharper, practical, like she's cutting through emotion with a knife. Max, we need to move. See those houses far ahead? That's the town we need to reach. We'll go on foot, because I can't use magic right now. You can't? I can, she corrects instantly, but I won't. It'll draw too much attention. There aren't that many people using magic on Earth, and most of them do it officially, and here I am, an illegal bandit. She makes a small annoyed sound. Trust me, someone who wants to can track the magical continuum very easily. Okay, I mutter. No magic, walking, Summerfield. Missing for a year and a half. Great. Good, she says, and starts moving. All right, monkey, I add without thinking, because apparently my mouth is suicidal. Martha stops so abruptly I almost bump into her. What did you just call me? I called you nothing, I say instantly, backtracking as her eyes flash a dangerous shade of red. Come on, let's go. And before she can decide whether to murder me on principle, I grab her hand and tug her forwards through the bushes and thorns. The walk is longer than it looks. About halfway to the town, we pass a rusty bus stop with a movie poster that's been sun bleached into a ghostly white. I don't recognize the film. I don't recognize the coming summer 2025 date either. It's a physical punch to the gut, a reminder that the world didn't stop moving just because I fell into a corridor. We reach the town about an hour and a half later, when the sun is already sliding towards sunset. Exhausted, scratched up, but we get there. The place is tiny and completely unremarkable. One narrow central street where cars pass from time to time, and 100 little side alleys, which are packed with vacation houses built cheaply and with questionable love. Martha, wait, I say, slowing down. What is it now? I squint ahead because something in the air feels different. Is that what I think it is? What, Max? But I am already running down one of the side streets like my body knows where it wants to be before my brain catches up. I reach the end and stop dead. Sea, ocean, whatever. Who cares what word you use when it's that huge? In front of me is an endless mass of water stretching out for kilometers, reflecting the sunset like it's playing with it. A wide, sandy beach drops down ahead, ridiculously clean and neat for a town this small. To the left, there's a small stone pier. To the right, a long breakwater that forms something like a sheltered bay. Martha catches up behind me almost immediately, and she isn't even breathing hard, which is unfair. Tell me, she says, staring at me like I'm broken. Are you sick, or have you never seen the sea? I've seen it, I say, still not moving. But it's the sea. I feel like only you are having this spiritual moment, she replies dryly. And she's right. The beach is empty, except for a small bar where a couple of people are sitting like they belong to the evening and don't care about anything else. I take off my sneakers and hold them in my hand, walking towards the water slowly. I catch my reflection in a shallow water pool. I look taller, leaner, and my eyes have a tired, sharp look that wasn't there ever since before White Rock. I don't look like a student anymore. I look like a survivor. The sea surface is catching the last sunlight and throwing it back in bright, playful flashes. My thoughts tangle into nothing, and I just stand there until a light shove bumps my shoulder. Martha runs past me, in a swimsuit. My brain stalls for a clean second. I have no idea when did she even change. She must have used a tiny illegal burst of magic just to prove she could. She dives like she's in a movie, a sharp, confident jump, except the water is shallow, so she smacks into it like a very brave idiot and comes up covered in wet sand. And I just stare, because I've never seen her this unarmored. No cold mask, no distance, just a real girl laughing at herself and watching me watch her. She is dangerously beautiful. The wet suit highlights the athletic pull of her muscles, thin arms and legs, a narrow waist, and hips that sit exactly right. Every curve is balanced like somebody designed her with a cruel sense of perfection. Even covered in sand and salt water, her posture is regal. Martha clearly enjoys the effect. She holds my gaze on purpose, then smiles in that controlled way of hers, flashing her upper fangs like she can't resist reminding me what she is. So, she says lazily, pleased. Are you happy with your choice, ma chérie? You have no idea, I manage. Good, she says. Now get in. I'm not going to freeze here alone. Is the water cold? Not really, around 20 degrees, but I prefer warmer. Princess problems, I mutter, and step forward anyways because of course I do. We end up spending who knows how long splashing around like children, swimming, dunking each other, throwing wet sand, playing shark, all the stupid simple things that don't belong in the kind of life Martha usually lives. When we finally come out, it's already dusk. We have no towels, so we put our clothes back on over wet skin like geniuses. Martha's dress turns into a heavy red rag. Her hair gets tangled and messy, and she looks like a disaster. But her face is glowing, not her usual sharp, dangerous expression, something stupidly happy, almost childish. For a moment she looks so normal that it messes with my head. Like she could be any girl who complains online on Twitter, goes for walks with friends, gossips about classmates, and calls that a hard day. And it's so far from the Martha I know, the powerful one, the cold one, the one who always looks like she's holding a knife behind her back. It makes her even more beautiful, which feels unfair. As if she reads my thoughts, she turns towards me, and the light in her face shifts into something heavy. What? She says quietly. I don't look like the usual Martha, do I? A little, I admit. She nods once. Yeah, I miss her too. The second Martha. Her jaw tightens. But circumstances and other reasons force me to always be the first one, the cold one, the lying bitch. Her eyes twitch slightly, and then tears spill out in thin streams. She looks like she hates herself for it.